Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio. So today, I'm going to be showing you Alolan Grimer. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Alolan Grimer is actually getting its own video. Because it's a legitimately good card that I expect to see an actual fair amount of play. Now, pre-evolutions don't often get their own videos. It happens. We did a video about Alolan Vulpix a little while ago, where I suggested it was a very good card that should see play. It did not go down too well. But as free retreat, if you've got a fairy Pokemon on the field, which is good in the mid to late game, it's no Beacon, but then again, Beacon's not great after the first couple turns. Anyway, go check that video out. I'll pop a link in the description. And there was that fairly controversial time I made a video about Onix. But here's the thing. I also told you recently that Onix turned up as a tech, as an attacker in its own right, in the winning list over at Japan's Champion League this past weekend. And by a similar token, we all know that the new Tyranitar, the GX, is looking kind of big and tasty and fun. But actually, there was a Larvitar in the set, which, if your opponent's got 3 or more damage counters on, it does 80 damage for a double colorless energy. And Shintaro Ito, the 2016 Pokemon TCG World Champion, did play this as an attacker in a Decidueye deck, because Decidueye can drop 3 damage counters. That kind of... The combo writes itself. So the point is, sometimes these pre-evolutions see play in their own respect, not just as a vehicle to get the evolutions out. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I think this Alolan Grimer could be the next one. Now, it has been revealed by the official Japanese YouTube channel and translated by the lovely David Hochmann. And, I mean, in terms of the basics, look, it's a pre-evolution, so it's got 70 HP. And actually, 70 HP here is good and bad. Good news, Buzzwole, either of them, with no damage multipliers, won't get a one-hit KO. You're weak to fighting, but they only do 30. Bad news, they're almost certainly playing Diancie Prism Star, so they will get a KO. And Professor Elm's Lecture lets you search for free Pokemon with 60 HP or less and put them into your hand, which means you can't get this, which is a little bit of a pain. And then we end up in that, are we playing a 60 or 70 HP Alolan Grimer? Well, the answer is neither, because actually the other 2 Alolan Grimers we've got have both got 80 HP, so this actually gets 10 HP less. But as I talked about in the Great Little Pokemon from Sun and Moon 8 video, link in the description, that's tending to happen quite a lot now. Pokemon are kind of dropping 10 HP on a basic if they think it's got a good attack. So maybe you're not going to be using Professor Elm's Lecture anyway. But we all want to know what it does. Remember, there's always timestamps in the description if you want to flick straight to it. Double colorless energy, 20 damage, plus 50 for each special condition on your opponent's active Pokemon. Which means that this can legitimately be getting one-hit KOs on GXs. As a basic single prize evolving Pokemon for 1 energy attachment. Generally speaking, I'd be saying don't put your double colorless energy on an evolving basic. That's a little bit silly. Not of Alolan Grimer. I am all in favour of you doing so. In fact, I would say that I actively encourage you doing so. It is redonk. It is great. Just as soon as you've got some special conditions on there. Because you see, if you haven't got any special conditions on there, it's 20 damage for a double colorless energy. Now, you can add a choice band, and then you are still getting a 2-hit KO on Dawn Wings Necrozma, or Bayonet, which you're both hitting for weakness, but no. Just no. But as soon as you start getting some special conditions, you're good. I mean, 1 special condition and a choice band, you're getting a 1-hit KO on Dawn Wings Necrozma or Bayonet. So that ain't too bad. And look, we've got ways of getting special conditions on there. We have actually got Alolan Muck GX. Now, it's got a free GX attack, 0 energy. Choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, switch it with their active, and then they're burned, paralyzed, and poisoned. Which means you're now doing 170. But then again, when you're talking about special conditions, you've got to remember that you're doing damage with them. Burn does 2 damage counters between turns. Flip a coin if heads are no longer burned. Poison puts on 1 damage counter between turns. and essentially stays around till they get out the active or get rid of it in some other way. That's kind of cool. Now, the problem with using Alolan Muck GX is that your opponent can use an Ace Roller to get out the active, or a Guzma to get out the active, or they can just retreat, and with a skateboard in the format now, the fact that they're paralyzed won't even stop them retreating out of the active. So maybe you're not going to be able to get it to stick with something like this. But we've got plenty of Pokemon that can put special conditions on there. How about Nihilego GX? Now, Nihilego GX, it is a 2-prize Pokemon with a weakness to Garbodor. Okay. Now that that's out there. The ability, you pop it on the bench, and all of a sudden your opponent's active Pokemon and your own, but you can retreat, are confused and poisoned. So now Alolan Grimer is doing 120, 50 for the confusion, 50 for the poison, 20 damage just for the base. 150 with a choice band, plus poison then kicks in and goes up to 160. And remember, you're a non-GX Pokemon, so nowadays you're probably playing Shrine of Punishment. So now you're up to 170 and something like a Tapu Lele is going down. That's right. Alolan Grimer evolving basic, double colourless energy, and all of a sudden you're getting a one-hit KO on a Tapu Lele. And here's the thing, that poison is going to keep flicking 10 damage between turns. 10 after yours, 10 after theirs, 10 after yours, 10 after theirs. That Shrine of Punishment is going to keep ticking 10 damage between turns. 10 after yours, 10 after theirs, 10 after yours, 10 after theirs. And that damage will build up pretty gosh darned quickly. And to be perfectly blunt, yes, there is a bit of investment. Yes, you do have to build for this. Alolan Grimer isn't just a Pokemon that's going to come into any deck and smash. It is a Pokemon that you've got to build. But then again, Alolan Muck GX has a very, very, very similar attack to it. Alolan Muck GX does 10 plus 70 for each special condition, but it's on a stage 1 for a Darkness double colourless. This does 20 plus 50, and it's just for a double colourless on a basic that only gives up 1 prize. You don't have to evolve, you don't need the third energy, you only give up 1 prize. Although you do have 70 HP, not 220. So if there's one special condition, Alolan Muck GX is doing 80, Alolan Grimer is doing 70. If there's 2 special conditions, then Alolan Muck GX is doing 150, and Alolan Grimer is doing 120. So yes, Alolan Muck GX is doing a little bit more, but not very much more. And there's nothing to stop you playing both of them in the same deck, because one of them evolves from the other one. Now, I've not gone through all the options here. We have, of course, got the Salazzle from Guardians Rising. When you evolve up into it, the defending Pokemon is burned and poisoned. And this is actually better than Nihilego, because you get the burn damage automatically. So now you're doing 120 for 2 special conditions. Plus Choice Band is 150. Plus Burn is 170. Plus Poison is 180. Hey, Rayquaza. Plus Shrine of Punishment is 190. There's Buzzwole. And okay, you've got to evolve up into Salazzle, but then it's just double colourless energy, choice band, Shrine of Punishment. And there's a million different Pokemon lately that need an energy, a choice band, and a Shrine of Punishment. And you're getting one-hit KOs on some of the most popular Pokemon in the entire format. And remember, let's say you're against something like a Zoroark. Fine, you're only doing 190 now, but they have got to get out the active. They've got to play an Ace Roller. They've got to retreat. Because if they don't, they're taking 4 damage counters, 2 from Burn, 1 from Poison, 1 from Shrine of Punishment. And fine, they can Field Blow away the Shrine of Punishment, but they can't Field Blow away Burn and Poison, so they've got to Ace Roller. And yes, Ace Rollering is annoying, but it's their only supporter for the turn. And they might not have a backup attacker. Yeah, they can Guzma, but it's their only supporter for the turn, and they might not have a backup attacker ready to go. With Guzma, they can Guzma and then retreat, but they have to actually retreat, and if they do Guzma, then it means your Alolan Grimer isn't in the active anymore, so they're not KOing you. I genuinely, legitimately think that in a special conditions deck, this can be a really, really good attacker. Maybe you build it into a deck using something like Salazzle, or maybe you just put it into another deck that's playing special conditions anyway. Now, the energy is a bit of an issue because it's a double colourless, and we've lost special charge, so it's really hard to recover them nowadays. But then again, you're a non-GX. So if you're behind on prizes, you got counter energy. Or even if you're behind on prizes, non-GX or not, you can use counter gain. So it goes down to a single colourless energy. And it is a colourless energy. So if you're using a Alolan Grimer with special conditions like Salazzle, it's not like it has to be in a darkness deck. You can play it with any Pokemon you like. Maybe you just play Garbodor with Salazzle and Alolan Grimer. There's so many options, and that's before we even talk about the Redonk Alolan Muck that I told you about a couple hours ago. I'll pop a link to that one in the description. And it evolves into the ability locking Alolan Muck as well. I legitimately like this Alolan Grimer, and I know I don't usually give pre-evolutions their own videos, but firstly, they're not usually as good as Alolan Grimer, and secondly, well, hopefully by now you've watched my Alolan Muck and Alolan Grimer videos. Would you really want one 25-minute video on both? I think a 12-minute video on either is an easier way to consume them. And you've heard my rambling. Trying to get that into one 12-minute video? No, it's really difficult. No. But Alolan Grimer needs a score. I'm going to give it between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. If you just want to evolve into Alolan Muck, we've got 2 80 HP ones. One Psychic type with a Psychic weakness, one is Darkness type with a Fighting weakness, so choose whichever weakness you'd rather have. But if you actually are playing special conditions, and you're playing double colourless energy or counter energy, this is an absolute no-brainer. It's ridiculous, and I love it. But I want to know if you love it. So let me know in the comments section. Go nuts. Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do just that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.